Wild card, swap sweats with your partner.
Sweats?
Sweats. Swap sweats with your partner.
That says seats.
Oh. Oh my god.
You always say, like, I want to do things to get to know you more, because we've been together for a while now. It's like, how do we get to know each other anymore, you know?
Yeah, an activity. Always helpful to do an activity, I think.
Yes. So I want to start off with the fact that this is not sponsored. We were just sent it and figured this would be, like, such a fun game to play for us to get to know each other better and for you to get to know us a little better. So we are playing We're Not Really Strangers. We're just going to go through it. The way you play is there's level 1, level 2, level 3. The cards obviously get deeper as you go. So I figured let's just dive in and, like, do one on each one, you know?
Great, let's do it. Okay, let's see.
Oh, very good to start off. What was your first impression of me?
Huh. Brooding.
Brooding?
Brooding. A sort of, like, timid broodingness. Like a sort of... Yeah, that's my answer. Final answer.
Brooding.
That's, like, the feeling I got. Okay, my turn.
We're each doing level 1, then each doing level 2, then each doing
Got
level
it. I see. Okay. If MySpace were still a thing, what would my profile song be?
Your profile song.
Yeah.
Whitney Houston, Higher Love.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yeah, I love that song.
Like, because you listen to that Kygo remix all the time,
Yeah.
I think if it were MySpace and we go back in time, maybe Whitney Houston's original Higher Love would really get you there.
Gotcha,
you know?
gotcha.
Bring me a higher love.
I dig that. That would make sense.
Yeah, I think you would be Whitney Houston. Higher Love.
Absolutely, for sure. That's a
yeah.
good answer. Okay, level 2.
Let me go from the middle of the pack, because, you know, when you just pick from the end, it's like, yeah, whatever. When was the last time you surprised yourself? That's a good one.
That is a good one. Wow. My initial reaction is like daily. There's something daily that I surprise myself with. I'm not saying they're always good things, or like productive, but there are moments where I'm like, oh, I'm surprised. I guess my last thing that I was surprised at, the last ad I just had to do, I always get really, really nervous because I think it's the worst, terrible thing and that like imposter syndrome is gonna hit.
You make beautiful content.
Thank you. But you know, I understand like movie making to an nth degree in this small way. You just hope it relates or that like the brand approves it and like you're excited to get notes, but you just like hope you weren't so far off. So this last one I had to do, I only got notes about like respell that, respell this, and that was really nice. So I surprised myself with just like trusting that what I made was good.
Hear, hear.
Hear, hear.
That's
okay.
nice. It's a very like relieving feeling. And that goes for things I think other than ads too. It's like, I think in all aspects of life, we want our work and whatever we put out to an audience or to the world, to a teacher, to your parents, you want it to be good.
Yeah.
And like when you hear the like notes coming back, it's like, oh, it like chips away, like maybe it wasn't perfect. But to one, not get that, and also to be like confident in the work that you were making. I think that's like a big thing to give yourself. Monumental.
And our manager was so sweet, and he texted me randomly out of nowhere, and he was like, I really, really love this ad, it's so sweet. And I was like, oh, thank you. Didn't even ask for it.
Put it out to the world and it came back.
Yeah. Okay, my turn.
Before I leave you on.
Wow. How can you become a better person? It's
always
kind of like vaguely specific.
Maybe we can do another, because I think it would just be always...
No, you answer that and then I'll get you another one, but try to get
Yeah,
that.
it's always to just be a little more selfless. I think society in general lends itself to all of us being a little wrapped up in ourselves, because with social media, there's so much more of an awareness of self, how you look, how you're being perceived, when instead, if we were able to redirect that energy to the people around us and kind of feed their spirits, all of that comes back to you. And you start feeling better about yourself. You start feeling like you look better. You stop caring about how you look. So that was one thing that was really like harped on in rehab, is the more selfless acts you're doing, the more esteemed you will feel. So selfless lends itself to self-esteem. When I think a lot of the time it seems like if I were very self-centered, I would have a lot of self-esteem. But really that just means I'm aware of all of my good parts, yes, but also all of my flaws.
Wow. Wild card, swap sweats with your partner.
Sweats?
Sweats. Swap sweats with your partner.
That says seats.
Oh. Oh my god. Wow. I do that a lot. I read things all the time. Like recently I had to reread these notes for this ad I have to do, and I was like, oh wait, they're wrong, something's not there, that word isn't in that thing. And then I had to reread it and really take some time and be like, oh, it's the I see what I want to see.
So you want to swap sweats?
No, I don't really want to take these off.
We don't even need to swap seats.
No?
Should we? Yeah. Let's play the game. Let's play the game. Fuck it.
Why would
Fuck
we?
it. Let's play the game. Okay, that was good. All right, round 3.
Okay.
This is the intense round.
Okay.
What would make you feel closer to me?
Age. That was kind of kidding.
Yeah.
But not really.
Because it makes sense. I get it.
There's a lot of experiences that I've had or ways and reasons that I am who I am, and I like that about me / like have taught me to be kind of where I'm at. So sometimes I can lose patience and a bit of compassion with anybody because I'm like, why don't you know what I know? Like with teaching or when when you're trying to talk to anyone about trying to convey like where you're coming from, if they're not there, you can't be mad at them for that. So I think like sometimes I'm like, if we were closer in age, there would be less of a feeling that your experience isn't as so distant or like foreign. But really like I went through what you went through and you're going through what you're going through. And sometimes I think it's more of like, I don't like being in uncomfortable situations where I don't want to watch him go through the uncomfortable thing that I went through. So it's a lot of me just wanting to, you go do that by yourself and like I don't have to see it and then let's talk about it later, but if I'm a part of it then it puts me on the spot in a weird way. I don't know. It's what?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like the experiences being different and you wishing I was where you're at and having that experience, and then me being on my side of being like, I'm wishing you're just with me in my experience, even if you passed it already. Like get in it with me, you know, with energy and ready to film things at all times. You know, we just like have different energies around that, and I think we learn every day a little bit more to like accept each other where we're at. Anyway. We're in it together. Okay, your turn.
What has this conversation taught you about yourself?
That we can always stand to understand each other more. But about myself...
Chris Olsen, president.
Yeah, not we. Yeah.
He always gives like these PC answers. Very Gen Z.
I can stand to understand you a little more and like take a little more time with that. Because how often do we sit down and like really dive in these like deep questions?
Never.
That's actually a thing we used to do randomly at the start of our relationship.
Oh yeah.
When we went out to dates. I would offer this to anyone who's starting to date. When we went on dates, I would Google questions to ask, not on a first date, but just in general. And like, there are pages with hundreds of questions. We would call it the questions game because it would be such a great way to get to know each other and all of the random, funny, weird things about each other. And each question would spark a different conversation. There would never be a lull of conversation with us. If we get to the end of one point, I had another question lined up, and they weren't just like, how are you? They were like weird, biggest fear, and like, what would you do if you had $1 million questions? And like, weirdly enough, those really help you get to know someone.
Yeah, it's what we did,
and it was cute.
It was so cute. I think you should do another one.
This is a weird one. I don't know if you'll have an answer. Based on what you know about me, do you have any Netflix recommendations?
I just recently started watching Ozark. And I've been
thinking about that one.
Because I'm listening to this podcast called Smartless, hosted by Sean Hayes, Will Arnett, and Jason Bateman.
Right.
And so hearing their voices on the daily, because it's an amazing, amazing podcast, and we're about to start our own. So like, if they ever see this, or if like Jason Bateman's kids, or Will Arnett's kids, or Sean Hayes' kids follow us on TikTok, one, I want to be a guest on the show. I want to go and like interview them and like ask them all these questions, but hearing Jason Bateman's voice all the time, and I was like, oh, there's this show, it's dark, it's not comedy, and I know he was nominated for a bunch of Emmys for direction and being in it, which is amazing.
I love Laura Linney.
She's amazing. It's such a good cast. And I think you would dig it because it has that sort of, I know you love watching like murder mystery documentaries.
Yeah.
And there's a very high stakes story going on, and the twists and turns and just like what happens to these people. It's just really well written.
Yeah.
So I would suggest that, and that's because I'm watching it. Yeah.
Yeah. Can we just talk about, can you stand for a second?
Yeah.
Look at his arms.
Oh my God.
Look at his arms. I was staring at them for half of that conversation. You're so hot. So that was fun. I feel like we're not really strangers anymore.
Oh no. Oh. And neither are you guys.
Ooh, that tricep. Okay.
Look, I'm making a heart.
All right, now it's too much.
See, he brings me up to bring me back down, to pull me down.
That was fun.
I would recommend this to
everyone.
To like first daters, even vet friends.
Again, not sponsored.
I think it would actually be a really good game to play with people because my go-to is like playing Celebrity or playing Sorry or stuff like that. But this would be a good way where if you want everyone to get to know each other and invite pontification and romanticizing about life.
Pontification.
So yeah, that was great.
We love you, and remember to
focus
on
your
blooming.
Bye.
Watch the bloopers.
Bye. Why does it do that? It was such beautiful color.
Because it was a picture mode.
Oh, yeah. See, I was like...
We should zoom out a little bit, huh?
It's just a little... It's like washed out. I'm like tan. Is there a way of changing that on that?
Shi'Anna add a tan filter. For the record, he's tan.
Love this camera. Just love it
Well,
so much.
this is a tiny thing. That's why people like hold up their hand.
Oh, yeah. Also, we're yelling, and I'm not in frame. Oh my god, I keep getting these wild cards.
Oh, wait, you picked one already.
Yeah,
You
no,
wanted
no.
it.
What story are you telling right now? Are you about to start crying?
It felt like a lot of life was happening, you know?
Yeah, there was.
Gotta
A story
rewatch
was
and
being
say-
told.
Maybe I'll add this to my Actors Access account.
Show us your flexibility.
My range. Oh, I forgot. You said remember to, and I forgot. Say it again.
Remember to
Focus
on
your
blooming.